Hello my beautiful friends, my name is Beck. I am a professional mindset coach and a medical doctor. I'm also the founder of the group coaching program Dare Darling, a space for successful women to use coaching and learn to self-coach to be able to overcome their perfectionism, imposter syndrome and people-pleasing that is stealing their results from them. Coaching is really about the implementation, the integration of these concepts that you might know about or agree with in theory, but we don't necessarily see them in your life. We get coached so that we can line ourselves up with what we think, what we believe, who we want to be, with actually what our life looks like, with actually who we're being, who we are. And that's why a coaching program, that's why learning to self-coach will actually change your life. More than a course, more than more learning, more than more lessons, more than even getting a master's in whatever challenge you're going through. But actually doing the trial and error, actually implementing these changes into your life and seeing what comes up, that is how we change. And that is why I'm so happy and excited to have created this Dare Darling space where we can not only learn to do the work and do the work ourselves, but also do it with a community of people who not only understand us, but also can be these examples, these inspirations, these constant prompts for us about what is possible, what's available, and what we are capable of. So if that sounds like a space that would be useful to you, you'll find a link down below to Dare Darling. Now in today's video, I wanted to talk about a common misconception and oversimplification of this coaching work that we do that steals our results from us. And that is this idea that coaching can be simplified to just change your thoughts. Now the truth is, this is actually the answer to me. I know that everything that I want in my life is available to me on the other side of my changed thoughts. I know that if I can just give myself permission to believe these key things, and if I can give myself permission or create the sense of sufficiency and safety to be able to overcome these fears, that's the accelerator pedal that I need to push and the handbrake that I need to take off that will allow me to move and be that person I want to be. So in so many ways, just change your thoughts, to me, that is it. And it is the work that I still have to do. It is the work that I'm constantly doing. It's the thing that keeps bringing me back to my own coaching work. This desire to change my thoughts and the incremental results I'm getting by changing this thought and that thought and this one and seeing the results come back to me. So to me, that idea, just change your thoughts, is truly so exciting, and actually making it that simple to me creates so much empowerment and hope and determination. But the way that this is usually used, just change your thoughts, to somebody who's not particularly familiar with coaching, hasn't yet gotten that switch to empowerment from coaching, what that can mean to them is whatever thought you're thinking now, just stop it and just replace it. Just cover it up even with a new, better, prettier thought, with a thought that sounds good, with a thought that's useful. And this idea of coaching is a misunderstanding, an oversimplification. For me, when I hear just change your thoughts, I understand that there's a whole process that goes behind changing a thought, making that happen. And don't get me wrong, sometimes, especially and incrementally as you get more and more skillful with this work, there is often less work in a lot of places with a lot of thoughts that you have to do. And I see myself getting more and more efficient with changing my thoughts to be more in line with who I want to be. Because remember, your thoughts create your emotions, which create your behaviors. Your thoughts create your outcomes in this way when we look at the cognitive program. That's how it works in a tangible sense. It's definitely not just change your thoughts as a simple, easy thing for someone who hasn't spent any time exploring and understanding their thoughts. And this has really been prompted for me as I've come up to a new challenge in my life. It's a new challenge in the sense that I'm coming up against fears that I've never had to come up against before. These are fears that stop me from changing my thoughts to be able to act aligned with the person I want to be in this scenario. And here's the thing, I don't even know yet. I haven't even done enough work with my thoughts in this scenario to understand how I want to show up in this scenario. My end goal isn't even clear to me yet. So if somebody told me to just change my thoughts now, I wouldn't even know what to change them to. And if I just picked a random thought that sounded good or pretty and then tried to show up in that pretty positive thought, it probably wouldn't create the results that I wanted. And further, it would be short-lived at best for me, only as long as I could deliberately hold my attention on that thought before these fears that I have come up and override that intentional work that I'm doing there. So all of this to say, just change your thoughts is more end goal. It's the end result that you get when you get skillful at this work. And when you've done the work on and with your thoughts, then you get to change your thoughts. But you don't get to skip the process of coming to see, be with, understand, and where required, attend to. Take care of yourself with those thoughts that you currently believe. For me, I don't know how long this process is going to take for these fears to stop being something that is heavily influencing my behavior. But I know the answer right now for me when I have all this fear is not for me to just change my thoughts. It's not for me to just think a pretty positive thought on top to override it. I know my next step is to spend time with these thoughts. First, I need to see these fears. I haven't even seen all of them. And as I talk and talk and talk about these fears, more come up, more surface. I start to understand them and see them more. So I actually still have more time exploring and understanding here first. Then with all those fears that come up, some of them will be easily dropped, put down, disputed effortlessly. And some of them I will need to actively create some sufficiency and safety around. Some of them I will need to pick up and look at further. And when I can hit my threshold of safety and sufficiency, when these fears no longer seem compelling or convincing enough to be the thing that's driving my behavior because they seem so real and unsafe, then I'm in a position where I can actually start thinking differently, where I can actually change my dominant thoughts here. And it's not even such a linear process where you do this work first and you can come over here and be intentional, but it happens with a bit of to and fro as well as you go. So my beautiful friends, all of this to say, please don't feel bad. Please don't feel like you're doing it wrong if you can't just change your thoughts. There's a reason that we coach. And it's because it's not that simple to just change your thoughts. Yes, in some cases, thank goodness, it's so amazing and fun when it is that simple, when you find a new thought and it just is true for you. It's just something you remembered. It's just something you know. You've just remembered this is what's true. And then it is that simple. Old thought, new thought just dominates. But in a lot of cases, that's not how it works. So consider that if you can't just think better, that perhaps you need to spend more time with your current thoughts, with what you currently believe, before it even becomes available to you to believe something new. This is what I'm personally going through right now. I know that in this part of my life, in this circumstance, I'm not showing up in the way that I want to. I'm not happy, content, satisfied with my current solution, with the current results I'm creating. And I'm allowing myself to take the time to first be with my thoughts before I change them. My beautiful friends, if you know this is the kind of work that you need in your life, then the link to Dare Darling, our group coaching program, is down below. Ask me any questions anytime. I'll see you guys in the comments and or in my next one.